Sunrise on Monday, another week starts. A familiar feeling away on the heart.
Welcome back to I'm the Problem. Today's episode is very special because for some of you, this will be your first time meeting the woman who created me. Some of you may know me as Joni. Some of you may know me as Chanel. Some of you may know me as the executive assistant, a podcast host, a woman just trying to hold all the things together. But before any of those titles existed, I was simply just a daughter. Today, my mom is going to share her version of my story. My mom has seen the struggles, the goods, the bads, the ups and downs, the wins and the losses. And most importantly, she's always been there through every struggle. Today, I am excited and pleasured to welcome my mommy, my twin, my ride or die to I'm the Problem. Come on in, y'all. Hey, mama.
Hey, sis.
Welcome to I'm the Problem. You are on the show.
Thank you
What is
so
going
much.
on, girl?
I am super excited to be on I'm the Problem. Because I'm
Girl,
the problem.
the people have been requesting you, girl. The people
That is
said, bring your
amazing.
mama out.
I love that for me.
So this is going to be an interesting episode. I'm excited. You're going to kind of tell my story from the mommy perspective. But before we get into all of that, we got to start with the first question, which is, what season are you in currently in your life?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So, um, I- so it's really hard for me to pinpoint what season I'm in because there is multifaceted. I'm in a season in my professional life where I'm ready to elevate. And so I have some very specific career goals that, and you, as you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and I love the
Right.
Lord. And so I'm believing God for some elevation in my career, so that I can ride out my last 10 or 15 years at the place that I want to be. So that's one season of my life,
Okay.
and then the other season of my life, I have two, is trying to be patient and not make decisions based on my emotions. Because,
Oh.
yeah, as I've become, more mature and
Mm-hmm.
gotten some life lessons, I still have not learned to not make decisions based on how I feel. And I know that's not a good place to be. Years of therapy taught me that. But
Hello.
yeah, just trying to be patient and listen and move according to God's will and not Latrice's will.
Oh, girl. Well, I'm still growing in that department, but I love that for you. And hopefully, these last 10 to 15 years of you working is just preparing you for me to be a stay at home daughter.
You've been saying that all your life. I don't know if you're
I
gonna ever
ain't
get
hit it
that.
yet.
You ain't even built like that. So let's just start there. You're not built like that. That
I
ain't
know,
your.
but it
That's not
sounds
your
really
gift.
good. It sounds really good, but it's okay. Or you know what? Maybe by then you'll be ready to just stay at home, take care of your grandkids or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm still hopeful that the Lord is going to work that out for me. Amen.
Amen. We're gonna leave that one in the Lord's hand because I've been telling you for a long time I ain't that grandmama.
That's what
I,
I'm saying. It's okay.
retiring and
The
no, that ain't
and
me.
picking the grandkids up from school while I'm out here grinding so we can have a private jet. That's what I'm saying. Everybody got to do their part, but it's cool.
Yes, ma'am.
I get it.
We're gonna leave that in the Lord's hands. See, being patient. Gotta
I'm listen,
move
and I'm
to God's
trying,
will.
and I'm really trying. So, mommy, before all of the titles, right? So
Mm-hmm.
before the podcast host, before being a manager, before all of these things of me just trying to manage everything, who was I?
I don't know. You were all over the place.
Okay.
Um, you when you were born, I could see the greatness in you. And probably from the time that you could understand what I was saying to you, I probably told you there is greatness in you. You just got to tap into it. But in your early years, you've always, even as an infant, you've always been sassy. You were
Me?
a really, really good baby. You didn't cry. The only time you cried, we knew every single time you cried, you had an ear infection or you had poop on your butt. That was it. Those were the two things.
Yeah,
Um,
because I we don't like that for me.
yeah, but you weren't a fussy baby, none of that. As you began to develop and learn words and talk, you were sassy. You've always been sassy. I have so many stories of you before you were 5 of you okay, Ace.
I'm a
Um
killer.
of you doing things and saying things. My aunt Charlie, which is your great great aunt, she was my great aunt, she was your great great aunt. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she lived in California, but she was a smoker. And when you were 3 or 4, you told her she was going to die of lung cancer and that she needs to stop smoking.
Lord help us, Jesus.
Aunt Charlie was flabbergasted. Your favorite word. She was flabbergasted.
I'm
She
sure a 3-year-old tell her she gonna die if she don't
She
stop smoking
told Big Mama,
cigarettes.
y'all got to get this girl something wrong. She gonna tell me I'm gonna die of cancer because I'm smoking cigarette. How she know anything about cancer? Yeah, funny story, but yeah. So there are so many of those stories. So you've always been sassy,
Mm-mm-mm.
always been stubborn, always got to have it your way.
You think I'm
Um,
stubborn, girl? You didn't have to tell the people that.
but I'm the problem. So I was just,
I'm
I
just
was giving
kidding.
the people some context on why you the problem.
You're doing great. Keep going. It's fine. They need to hear it. They need to understand. Dang.
So
Wow. I
yeah.
can't believe I was always stubborn. I mean,
Always stubborn, always.
just had to, well, you know what? Yeah. I just got to see it my way. And if my way fails, that's cool because I'm going to learn from it. But yeah.
But I will say in growing up and becoming an adult, I think you started to learn the lesson. You didn't always learn the lesson because you
Mm,
were so headstrong and you wanted to see it your way. And there have been that part of you still creeps through sometimes. But what I respect about you so much is the fact that you learn from it. You're like, you
yeah.
know what? I probably could have done something or said something different. I didn't have to see it my way. So you learn from it. And
Yeah.
I love that about you and I respect that about you. And the other thing that I also respect about you is the fact that where you are at 32, it took me so many years more to get where you are at
Mm-hmm.
32. You're not 32, you're 33, huh?
Hold on, Auntie. Don't add no more years to me. I'm 32 and still hot, young, and turned.
No, ma'am, you 32. You see, we've talked about that too. You got to let that part of your life go. You
Mama,
32.
but I can't. It's gonna keep me young, girl. If I take on that, it's gonna tear me down. And we just getting started. We just
Okay.
turning up.
Mhm. I hear you.
Mama, you have to be in support, okay? Listen,
Mhm.
y'all. So for the people who this will be your first time meeting and seeing the interaction with me and my mom, first of all, this is not for the show. This is genuinely how we are. Like, this is how we talk. This is how we interact with each other. And that's my backbone. I really don't make a move without talking to my mama. If you piss me off, I'm calling my mama. Like, mama, can you believe so and so just did or said this? When it comes to decisions about my career, I'm calling my mama. It's almost like she's a manager. She's a momager because I'm going to call her for all of these things. So this is absolutely going to be crazy because this is just who he is. So,
Wait, I'm sorry. And what high school did you graduate from? That's who we is. I'm gonna need you to get your son because
Mom, what do you think people will be surprised to know about me?
ooh, Well, from the audience perspective, that you are very, very sweet. You have
Oh, I am. You so kind.
you have a big heart. You do. You're. So I heard a actually somebody told me this about me at work. You're like a pineapple. Um, rough and prickly on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but good and sweet on the inside.
You know what? I love that. A
And
pineapple.
I think that best describes you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people would be surprised to know that unless you are a really close friend, they would never see that part of you. And it's okay to show people who you really are without exposing, because you use the word expose. And it's not just because you're vulnerable and
Right.
letting people see pieces of you doesn't mean you're exposing anything. We also have a habit of wanting to keep our business, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. You got that from me. You got that very honestly. You know, I don't like people in my business, but by the same token, if I feel like something that I'm going through or something I've experienced is going to help somebody along the way, in those moments, it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I think on one of these episodes, I've kind of talked about the vulnerability part. It's still not my favorite thing to do. I think that with people that are close to me that have, I don't want to use the word proven themselves, but for lack of a better word, that's what I'm going to say. Or I'll say once a bond has been established, the relationship and that foundation has been solid, then I am more inclined to be more open. In certain settings, I do think that it's okay for me to be vulnerable. It's still not my favorite thing to do. And I think that once my relationship with the person has been proven to be solid, the foundation is there, it makes me more inclined to be vulnerable. But I do still feel like everybody just doesn't deserve that access of me. And I try to use my discernment in most settings. You know, if I feel comfortable, if it's a safe space for me, then I do share. But just on the strength, absolutely not. Like, a lot of the things that I feel like, for example, being a caregiver, having to take care of my dad and make those decisions, that's a real personal, subject. Now, if I meet someone that is going through something similar and I have some, experiences about that I can share, I think I'm open to do that. But I definitely love my privacy. And it's because of you, so thank you.
I mean, I get it. I do. I understand that. But I would just saying to tag on to that there are some times, and that's why I use the word pieces of vulnerability, because sometimes you have to avail yourself to hit the mark, get where you need
Right.
to be. So,
Right.
but yeah,
I
I'm
think I can
definitely.
second that.
Yeah, I'm definitely, you definitely 1000% got that from me. So,
That's so crazy.
it's in your
So
Dana.
it's my Dana
It's
girl.
in your Dana.
Girl, that Dana is something serious. So I think, sometimes people only get to see the responsible side of me. And they don't know that we had to put in some work to get here. And it's so funny because in the space that I'm in now with work, right? And so I'll let you kind of tell the story a little bit, but well, first of all, let me go back because I'm having several thoughts. So the first thought is, all of my life you have said you are destined for greatness. You're destined for something big. Like, you have literally instilled these things in me. And I'm not gonna lie, Ma, as a teenager, I'm like, this girl just be talking and quoting the damn Bible. Lord forgive me. But, that was my thought process
You acted
then.
like it too. You act like you didn't believe it. Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just, but now being an adult and being in the space I'm in, I literally have had like a real full circle moment, because everything that I've experienced, like as a teenager and as, like in my early 20s, it is literally the foundation of how I excel in my current role.
Absolutely.
Being your assistant. Before somebody put me on their payroll to be their assistant, I was your assistant, helping Mimi with her catering services, being in front of a camera, like all of these
All the
things.
things.
And now, yes, and now to just see where I am and where I'm going and how it was just positioning me to be exactly what you said, which was greatness. It's
There's
crazy.
layers to it. Absolutely. I do want to go back real quick. When you asked me a few minutes ago, what would people be surprised? What would the people be surprised to know about you?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
you put me and your father through pure D hell from the time you were 14 till you were 17. You woke up one day at 17 and decided you didn't want to be that little demon seed anymore.
Now, Mama,
We are
how you gonna
so
tell the people my
appreciative.
business?
I think the people should know. I think the people should know. So I did want to plug that real quick because they would be the people that know you now would be surprised, especially because of the relationship that you and I have. They would be surprised. And I'm actually surprised you're still alive.
Okay, so I guess now you got to give the people a little more because now we can't leave them hanging. So I wouldn't say give them all of the examples of what you're talking about, but I think you can give them some, and they, give them a couple jaw droppers so we can get some good views on this episode. Mm-hmm.
So we could talk about defects calling me on my job because you told your counselor at school that you were afraid to go back home. You were afraid for your life.
I was.
We could talk
I was
about
scared.
defects. Okay, let's not. And I'm going to tell the funny story about that, but we can talk about defects interviewing your baby sister and coming to our house on a Sunday, and we gone to church, and you decided you didn't want to go to church that Sunday, and defects came and went through my house without me being there, and they interviewed your baby sister in kindergarten without my knowledge. So yeah. And we could talk about the fact that when defects called me and told me all these things, I listened very quietly. And then I said, well, I tell you what, because what she ain't gonna do is run my house. So if y'all want to come get her, I'm okay with it.
And I just want to be very clear. She really told those people that.
I did. I was serious.
And to add to that, she also told them that if I was going to live under her house, she was going to continue to whoop my ass when I was being disrespectful. And if they had a problem with it, they could have me. That's legit. That is not for the show.
That is not for the show. That is legit. Because you can't tell me how to run my house. But I will say this. I will never forget Miss Trinessa from Defects. After her investigation was complete, she said, Miss Barlow, the only thing I ask you don't do is hit her open-handed. I mean, with your, I'm sorry, let me correct that. She said, please don't hit her with your fist. If you have to hit her, you hit her open-handed. I said, I won't leave no scars. I can't promise you I'm going to hit her open-handed, but I won't leave no scars. And she said, well, please don't leave no scars because what we don't need is proof. I said, not a problem. There will be no proof. Oh, no. Let's talk about the time that the sheriff showed up. The Henry County sheriff showed up, and you thought they was going to arrest me. And you got mad because they wouldn't arrest me.
Mama, I think you telling people a little too much of my business.
Oh, well, I just thought, I would give them a little tea.
Well, we had already moved past that part of the episode.
No. Let's talk about the time you took my car and drove it into an apartment.
Mama, okay, now you're taking it a little too far.
That's a great story. Why don't you tell that story? Because I had a migraine that day. I had no idea you was out 12 years old driving my car.
What can I say? I've always been a part of the problem, but I've also learned to come with a solution. So I don't really know what I was thinking. I was 12, but I knew I could drive a car. We lived in an apartment complex, very low key. And at the time, my mom had a light blue Chevy Lumina. We'll never forget her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mama had came home with some groceries, and she did tell me to take the groceries out the car. But I said, shoot, she upstairs laying down, don't feel good. Why not drive around the block? So I had been driving around the parking lot for a long time. And then something in my crazy mind saw the green box. So if y'all remember the green box in the neighborhood and the tree, I said, I wonder if I could get through there. It looks like it's enough space. And I did get through there.
Mind you, that this is on the lawn of an apartment complex, not in the parking
Oh yeah, it's
lot.
grass. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
We
not
on the lawn. She.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah. Long story short, since we had to bring this up, I got stuck trying to get out of there, and I backed into a lady's apartment with her kids in the room. Thank God the kids were safe. Praise the Lord.
I got cussed out. I'm laying up in here with a migraine, feel like I'm having the second coming of Jesus. This lady knock on my door and cuss me out. I don't even know what's going on.
Well, and luckily, so let me share that again, a full circle moment for me. So this happened when I was 12. The judge didn't give me any charges. I had to write a letter. We had to hire an attorney. Went through all of that. Everything was fine. But I had to promise that I would never drive a car again until I was the age of 18 or 15, 16, whatever it was. So in 2024, was it 2024 or 25? No, in 2024, I actually ended up working for the same juvenile court that I actually ended up, that I had to go to court for, that I was actually in. And it's funny. So they hired me, y'all. And I was like, this is interesting. I wonder if y'all know that I was here before. So, of course, after I got hired, I went and looked myself up, but it had been so many years ago. My name was in the system with our address, but it had already, been closed out. It was nothing additional to see. So again, my life these last couple years have literally been like a full circle moment of where I started and where I currently am now.
Absolutely.
So, one thing people always think about me is that I am strong and I hold all of these things together. But from a mother's perspective, what do you think? How do you feel? What is the version that you get to see in the middle of all this chaos?
Me.
Yep. Okay, break that down for the people.
You carry the load without notice. Whatever it is, like I could use your dad's illness as an example. At a very young age, you became responsible for taking care of your dad. And if nobody knew, nobody knew. Like you didn't change your attitude. You didn't change how you moved. You just carried on day to day. And me and you I've often had conversations like, you got to do something different. You can't keep moving like this. Yeah. And you're like, I'm good. And that it was a direct mirror reflection of me. And how I have dealt with adversity and burdens and pressure your whole life. I just dealt with it. I'm not one to talk. I'm not a big talker. So in talking about being vulnerable and not exposing and just holding it all in and just dealing with it as it comes. And that's how you handle things. That's how you handle life. If I don't specifically ask you, even now, if I don't specifically ask you, about work, or if I don't specifically ask you about your father, I never know how those things are affecting you.
I think that's just a part of that Dana, because I think that
1000%.
at the end of the day, even if I'm having a heavy day or a heavy moment, all the other things still got to get done. You know,
Right.
it doesn't. I think that watching you grind, no matter what was going on, you knew you had bills to pay, you had kids to take care of, and so if my mama can do it, what's my excuse? You know, just get out here and it has to be done. Even when because a lot of times I just really don't feel like it. And people really don't ever see that. But sometimes I just don't feel like it because it can be a little heavy, it can be a little challenging. But at the end of the day, I know I have a goal in mind. I know I have a vision for myself and I'm going to keep grinding until I get there. I'm
Just
not
gonna
going
keep
to,
moving.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
not going to stop. Have there ever been moments where you felt like I was carrying too much? And from a mother sitting back and watching me carry all of these things, how did that feel for you? Or what are some things that you do to not overwhelm you watching me carry all of these things?
Well, now I will say, there have been lots of times in the last 7 or 8 years, maybe maybe 8 to 10 years, where I've said to you, that's too much. A couple of times you've been like, I'm good. You wouldn't show me what was going on. And in those times, rather than create dialogue with you and I get frustrated and you get frustrated, I do what I do best, and let's go to the throne. And I pray for you and I
Okay.
cover you in those moments, because I know what it's like to carry a lot of things, um, not just carry them, but juggle them and then throw them over your back and keep moving. And your back is getting heavier and heavier and heavier. But you just keep moving and you keep pushing. So yeah, there have been many times over the last 10 years where I've felt that way. And if I talk to you or ask you and I get nothing, then I know I got to put you in all of those, um, things that you carry, at the foot of
Right.
the throne and keep it pushing. And he's never failed me
Well,
yet.
and that is one thing that I think people need to understand. Even though I carry it and it look good on the front end, a praying mama is behind me, holding me up on the back end. And that is not something I take lightly because I don't always have the strength to pray for myself in full transparency. Some days I have my moments. I think last week I had some things going on with my dad. It was heavy and I just couldn't do it. And in full transparency, me and God was beefing. I'm like, cause listen, what is going on here? And the first thing my mom did was she prayed. And that prayer immediately shifted the atmosphere for me because although I was upset, although I had this decision to make and this decision was going to definitely affect me and where I am and what I'm trying to do, I was having a moment. And so anytime that I'm having those moments and I'm not able to focus in on God and have that you know, prayer and conversation with him, it's just important to have a praying mama. So on top of us always cackling and having a good time,
Having a
I
great time.
always appreciate the fact that you always pray for me, especially in those moments where I'm not able to pray for myself. I think that is I mean you already the goal, but that just add more sauce to what's already stirred up. What is one thing that you think that people don't understand about my role? So we're going to combine the two. So we're going to talk about with my role at work and then even my role outside of work that people don't understand about me carrying all of these different loads.
Well, because a lot of people don't know. I don't Do you remember the conversation we had when you revealed to your leader that you had a dad sick? Because you went for weeks with your dad in the hospital, and because you were at a new job, you didn't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became a relief because you were literally carrying the burden of keeping that from your new employer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally released it, there was somebody there to support you, to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, that's a lot. You should take some time off, or you should do it. Tell me what you need so we can support
Right.
you in that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's important that people know that although you're laughing and although you are very strategic and methodical about how you move and you take pride in your job, that there
Mm-hmm.
are so many times that although you're able to get those things accomplished, that there's more to the story than meets the eye. There's more to
Yeah.
you than what meets the eye.
Yeah. Different layers. It's
It's
definitely layers to
layers,
this.
definitely.
Layers to this. What is something that you see about me that you feel like I still don't see in myself?
Well, because of your wall, which I think is a barrier sometimes, I
Mm-hmm.
think that once you decide, and honestly, if I'm being totally transparent in this moment right now, that is my prayer for you, that you
Mm-hmm.
tear down the wall and avail yourself to the right person and the right people. um
Mm-hmm.
because and again, it's a mirror reflection. Because you've dealt relationally in hurt, you have a wall up, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't let people penetrate that wall. If they're not already on the other side of that wall, they can almost forget it. And so my prayer is that you are able to brick by brick take it down, because that is hindering part of your elevation and your greatness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was T girl. Well, I won't talk much about that tonight. However, I received that. Um, yeah, I think that's gonna have to. I might have to bring you back for a part two. Um, because yeah, I don't want to get to people too much because now my creative mind is thinking,
Mhm.
and I think that that opens the door for more dialogue, and I think that people can relate to that. You know, the whole point in this
Absolutely.
platform for me is there were some things that I talked about on here. Every topic is centered around, you know, my experiences and things that I've gone through. And just if I had had a I'm the problem outlet to connect with somebody so I didn't feel like I'm the only person experiencing this, excuse me, I think that would have definitely, you know, made a difference.
I definitely think
So,
it's the catalyst to getting you um where you personally need to be. I think that I'm the problem is the catalyst to get there. And to be, again, back to our earlier conversation, being vulnerable enough to say, this is what I've gone through, this is what I learned from it, and this is where I
mhm,
am in my season of life. So yeah, I think I'd
we
love to
second that.
come back to for a second episode and get raw for real, for real.
Oh, child. Now, for y'all who don't know my mama, baby, she's doing really well. I mean, she's still being raw, but it can get a little rawer. I don't even know if that's a word, but that's what it is.
So do
So,
you remember, before you go on to your next question, do you remember when I was the HIV educator at Clayton State?
I do
And do
very
you
well.
remember some of the conversations I had with you?
The conversations, the
The
pictures,
pictures?
the more conversations, the more pictures. Yeah,
Yeah. I was about
very raw.
you're not gonna be out there and not know what's going on and be uneducated. Yeah, we're not having that.
And, you know, it serves me justice even now. You know, going through that period of dating. Where y'all paperwork at? And I got to
Absolutely.
inspect your paperwork. You
That
know what I'm
is
saying? Like, I just can't take what
that's
you
a
said.
hard
I need the
stop.
picture. And then I'm going through it to see if the dates match, if the address, the first name, last name, and then was you screen for everything?
Mhm.
Like, yes, but I have you to thank for that,
Amen.
because our health is everything. And
Absolutely.
we just can't be out here, in your words, all willy nilly.
You can't be willy nilly. And there's some packages you can't get back.
They don't have a refund slip.
Nope. It's yours for life.
And I don't want that for me.
I don't want that for you.
Hmm.
I don't know why that popped in
So
my head, but nevertheless,
you've watched me grow in many different seasons. And so who do you think I'm becoming?
who do I think you were? I think you are becoming Chanel. Your legal name is Joni
Hmm.
Chanel. But I think you are stepping into the full realm of Chanel and what it means to be her and embrace her, not just be this person out here being a spokesperson for those of us that haven't identified that we are the problem, but just to some degree, not just being a voice for those out there who are trying to find themselves, but being a
Right.
voice for the ones who have come into that season but haven't faced it yet.
I think I can second that. And so I want to I think I made a post on Instagram few months ago. And so I want to kind of give the people some more context about my name. So my name
Mhm.
is Joni Chanel. But for me, Joni is who is the executive assistant. Joni is the supporter for the CEO. Joni is all things professional. And I do what I call a politic. So that is just my work. That's my grind mode. But Chanel allows me, like mom said, certain pieces of me to be vulnerable and I can be open, and more raw, because unfortunately when you do work in corporate America, you got to play the game, and one thing for certain and two things for sure, my mama has always taught me to play the game. And so in doing that, that's what Joni does. When Joni goes to a work event, Joni's in the room, she's being strategic. I can't show up to the work event as Chanel because Chanel is raw, she's free, she's more authentic.
She's
she
silly.
is in, she's very silly, but when I'm at work and I'm in grind mode. And so that is why on this platform, I always say, you guys are getting Joni. You're getting the raw, the unfiltered, and it's, the goal for me is that for each episode, we're building upon each layer so that you get to know more about who I am. And then my story is ultimately to help somebody else. That's also one of the things my mama always told me. Your story, your struggles, is not just for you, but it is also to help better somebody else who's going through the same thing. And so that is why you guys always get to see Chanel, the big mama.
Just silly.
Um,
Silly to them.
what is one lesson that you think life is still trying to teach me?
So I think we already hit on that a little bit.
Hmm.
I think life is trying to teach you how to be soft.
Oh, girl, help me, Jesus. And I'm not against being soft. I just think that life
I
has.
think it's I think your protection shield um is a way to do literally that, is to protect you. To
Hmm.
protect you because there was a time in your life where you didn't have what you felt like were protectors, and people
Hmm.
took advantage of that, right? So
Hmm.
because of that, you have built this shield to
Hmm.
keep people from doing that to you again. But I think you were well on your way. It's about self reflection though and self awareness. So
Yeah.
I believe in our conversations that over the last year or so, I believe that you're well on your way I think you fight it sometimes, right? Because you're like, nope,
Hmm.
yeah, ain't, you know. But
Yeah, no,
you,
wholeheartedly.
I think you're getting there.
I think I can definitely take accountability and recognize in that area
That you
I
the
am
problem.
I'm the problem, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I think that when we get to a space where we can acknowledge that we're the problem, we have so much power because you can't throw something in my face. You can't use it against me because I'm already knowing that I'm the problem. But I can also be a part of the solution because what may be the problem for me today may not be the problem for me tomorrow.
absolutely.
And I'm allowed to go through that journey. What is one thing you hope I never lose about myself?
Oh, your silliness for sure. The
Really?
ability to see the fun, everything. I'm not a comedian, right? But
Right.
every situation we have ever encountered in our lives has something funny in it. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even to the most serious things, like death. My
Mm-hmm.
our well, yeah, he was my grandfather, your great grandfather, but he was the literal backbone of our family. But I
Mm-hmm.
found joy and laughter in his death. I don't know if y'all
Right.
remember it or not, but he was sharp laying in that casket. Like sharp, sharp. Like I never seen my big daddy. He was so
Right.
sharp. I was like, big daddy, look, casket sharp.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to find the humor in everything, even with your dad's condition, we've had a couple of laughs. We've had some tears, but we've also been able to
Mm-hmm.
find some humor in it. So I hope you never lose the ability to see humor in the most difficult situations.
I don't think so. I think sometimes laughter is just good for the soul.
It is, and
Um,
it's good for your blood pressure too.
Not the blood pressure, mama. I'm screaming. What is one thing that you want from me more than anything in the world? Mm,
Happiness, happiness, relationally, happiness.
mm. Okay.
Hmm. And
So are we
the
thinking
second
of
thing I
are we
want
thinking
you,
a wedding with like 10 kids and a white picket fence and you gonna help take care of all your grandkids? No, I'm just
I
kidding.
ain't saying nothing about no 10 kids. I don't know what you're saying. Blah, 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 blah. I can't. Mm-mm.
Mom, what you supposed to say? What
I'm
you
the
say?
problem.
No, what you say?
What you say? No, ma'am. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I ain't going to say it, whatever it is.
That was funny.
No, ma'am. No, 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 understand.
No, Espanol?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, that's the
No,
wrong thing.
senorita.
Oh, okay. I do want to start speaking another language. But so at 32, I do not have all the answers. I don't even think it's about having all the answers. I think it's just about enjoying and embracing the journey, whether it's good, bad, if it's a bad, all the bad eventually works for our good anyway, because it gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you the opportunity to have perspective, and just create a better play for the next situation, no matter what that is. So that's on a business and on a personal side. Um, there was a time when I put pressure on myself, like, oh, I gotta do this by 30, I gotta do that by 30,
Unnecessary.
unnecessary because
Mm.
just enjoy the journey. And so and before we close out, mommy, with this being your first time on the problem, what is something I have two questions to close us out. One, what is something that you want the people to take away from this episode as far as something that they didn't know about me? And then what is your personal message that you want to leave the viewers with from this episode?
So the one thing I want them to remember about you is that you are a phenomenal woman, a woman phenomenally.
Mm,
And that,
that's me.
yes, ma'am. And don't ever forget that. And as you build this podcast and build your audience, that it's authentic. It's who you are. There are no pretenses. There's no script. You are genuinely coming with a platform that is to help people. And my final word would be for the audience, continue to support I'm the Problem. Go back and read. I mean, not read, blah. But go back and listen to some of the episodes. And even me, as your mother, I have been able to benefit from each episode. I've got 2 episodes now that are my favorite. But I've gotten some good information. And so I'm so very proud of you. And I'm gonna stop right there because your mom is a waterhead, and I'll start crying. But I am very proud of you, and I look forward to many more episodes of I'm the Problem.
Mama, we taking off. It's up. And please, yeah, don't start the waterhead because then we're going to be on here looking crazy. But, my goal is to be able to put you up, you know. You've made countless sacrifices, and so we're going to record until we got this thing on the big screen, until we in New York, until they want to put me on whatever station Maury was on, Bravo. I don't care what station is on. We're going to keep grinding until we get there. And so I'll leave the viewers with this. So the woman who created me, we could keep the episode rolling, okay? She has been the pillar of excellence that I go after every day. Get up countlessly. And even when she's not in the mood or even when she's not feeling well, she shows up not just for her family, but there are other people that she has encountered and she's shown up for them in big and small ways and made an impact. And so that is my goal, to do it 10 times harder. Because then she can look at me and say, you know what, that's my fruit. And she is taking off with her labor. So if today's conversation was not so much of a challenge like our other episodes, but today was just to open you up more into who Joni Chanel is from a mother's perspective. Can't nobody tell a good story like your mama. So if you enjoyed today's conversation, you always know you are welcome here, and we look forward to seeing y'all. And until next time, that's a wrap. I'm the problem.